The Tennessee Titans front office may have just been asked the dumbest question ever.
Simple question. The team you put on the field tomorrow, can that team win the Super Bowl?
But it might have answered the most questions in the long run. We're going to talk about it next on Titan Upload.
Simple question. The team you put on the field tomorrow, can that team win the Super Bowl?
Gosh darn it. Why would you ask me this right now? How am I going to play this one off? Oh my gosh. I can't say the wrong answer here. Deep down, I know we got no freaking chance to win no Super Bowl this year. Do they not realize I came from the Kansas City Chiefs and what kind of program they're running over there? And I'm coming from a 3-14 football team? What I'm going to say? Brinker ain't going to say anything. It's going to have to be me. Gonna have to be me. Here I go. I think the ultimate goal every year is to win the Super Bowl. But let's just say we got a lot of work to do. So listen, I'm not here to get on the person who asked the question, even though I do really think it was a stupid question to ask. I mean, for example, you were a part of the NHL hockey team and you were a Predator and maybe you didn't really know the ins and outs of football, but you kind of knew the Titans got the number one pick. So in your mind, you're thinking, hey, Cam Ward's different. He's going to win you a Super Bowl and let you knock it right out of the park. But if you have any common sense when it comes to the NFL or the Tennessee Titans, how dare you ask that question? Any serious fan of the team knows the team was 3-14 last year. They were absolutely a train wreck. And yes, I know a big part of that was because of one guy who just had shoulder surgery or is going to have shoulder surgery and he's going to be out for the year. But I'm not going to blame everything on him because I still have a lot of questions about this team. Like the head coach, Brian Callahan, who literally needs this season to keep his job. And I got questions on the defense. I was just told that Snead was going to be all healthy. He came out and talked about it at a local news station. But hey, don't worry, because A to Z Sports Easton Free said, you know what? Not his quad, it's his knee. So relax. How can I relax? The biggest issue with Snead was his knees. I mean, you have to be GM of the freaking decade, the GM of all time, the best GM ever to take a 3-14 team. Don't really spend a whole lot in free agency other than getting yourself a left tackle that you desperately needed, and we still don't even know if he's going to be any good. We gave him a lot of money. I know it was the going rate, but that's the issue Steeler fans have with it. And we have all sorts of questions, like I said, on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to be able to stop the run. Is Simmons going to be able to take that step? Because there are people that thought, well, maybe he declined last year. Maybe it was the fact he had to deal with Will Levis all the time. And Will Levis constantly got the team's hopes sometimes high, but then he'd throw a pick six and then it's like a balloon that busted, right? But at the end of the day, the defense does have some secondary questions. I'm sorry, but they do. Because if Snead ain't ready to go week one, which PK's giving you a little bit of optimism that just because you're on the PUP list on the first day of training camp doesn't mean you won't be ready for week one. So thank you, PK. But if he can't, that's an awful lot to put on a second-year guy who was drafted not to be your number one corner. And we got 47 new guys or new faces on the roster? You got rookies galore. And we're putting our season on undrafted free agent Xavier Restrepo. I mean, trust me, it sounds great, but there's got to be somewhat of a concern that every single NFL team passed on him at least almost 7 times, including the Tennessee Titans. So again, Cam Ward is going to have to cover up a lot of holes, and I hope he can do it. But this question being asked, I mean, what did you expect him to say?
Question. The team you put on the field tomorrow, can that team win the Super Bowl?
Listen, that's always the goal every year. Yeah. We also realize we have a lot of work to do on this roster.
Here's what I think. Deep down, I think they were caught off guard. It's quite obvious. I mean, heck, Brinker starts to chuckle it off right away. Thank goodness for Mike Borgonzi, because I was used to seeing the car salesman from a GM possibly, right? Not give me the full degree. And I don't care what GM you're talking about. Most of them are the same way. and how many different quarterback questions were asked about Marcus Mariota or Ryan Tannehill when the team traded a 4th-round pick, and John Robinson made sure that you knew he wasn't going to be a starter in Ryan Tannehill, and it was going to be Marcus Mariota's team. But all we heard around the national media was that wasn't the case behind closed doors. The local media is telling us the complete opposite of basically what John Robinson's telling us. Robinson and Vrabel really did want Ryan Tannehill. Then don't get me started on Rand Carthon, man. Don't get me started. Tried to act like things were all hunky-dory, remember? Things were better than what they really were. He kind of gave you a little bit more than really what it was going to be like. And he went on the record many times. And he actually tried to maneuver and do some free agency and spend some money and get you pumped up on some Will Levis. Yeah, that didn't really go really well, but hey, thank you for trying, right? Thank you for trying. So now a new regime, and Mike Borgonzi gets asked the golden ticket question. This roster good enough to win a Super Bowl, Mike? Did you like his response?
Simple question. The team you put on the field tomorrow, can that team win the Super Bowl?
Listen, that's always the goal every year. We also realize we have a lot of work to do on this roster.
I actually got a little bit of truth to that. I think deep down he was thinking about what he can and cannot say instead of just giving it to you. This team's nowhere near ready to win a Super Bowl, and everybody knows that. Even diehard Titan fans know, like, looking at this roster compared to some other, the 2 top teams to win a Super Bowl this year apparently are the Ravens and the Bills, but when you match them up pound for pound, I mean, heck, we're kind of debating why we're a 7.5 underdog going into Denver week 1. I know Denver's supposed to be really good, but if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you got to go to Denver and win, right? I mean, heck, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you darn well better win the AFC South. I think Borgonzi answered it the right way. 2 things. Number 1, the team's a delicate situation. I'm just starting training camp, and I got this thing basically going viral around the internet about how my GM and my top dog in Brinker shuckled it off and answered the question. I think if you looked at it common sensely, you would know they don't believe this team's going to win a Super Bowl this year. They don't even think it's worth a discussion. But they're not going out to give you false advertising either. They're not going out there trying to pump things up, because ultimately we learned that last year it doesn't work either. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. It's a wild card in all of this. And don't even think about it. Don't think about it, because deep down you know it's true. We have a wild card when it comes to an owner. And you never know what Amy Adams Strunk's going to do. And she's not Jerry Jones, so that's a positive, because what a mess that's been in Dallas. But at the end of the day, Amy Adams wants to win. And I don't know if she signed up for this long-term project, even though all of us know it's going to take time. But again, Cam Ward has to be flawless. And that's a lot of pressure to put on your rookie quarterback, because last year, the number 1 overall pick in Caleb Williams didn't go very well. And we should know, because we played him in week 1 and we saw what that was about. Now, he did get better during the year, and Chicago fans are very excited about this season. Is that the answer Amy wanted? Do you think deep down Amy knows this is going to be a couple-year thing? Or the Titans playing possum sold her the plan? This is not going to be the year, Amy. But I'll tell you what, you got a new stadium coming in 2027. This could come back to bite them. And here's why. Because if the Titans actually do well and they do make a Super Bowl, man, this is going to be a highlight like no other. Because your GM and your president of football operations, Chad Brinker, they told you in this press conference, reading between the lines, no. This is not a Super Bowl roster that can go out and win a Super Bowl. So, end of the day, this is fun. It's exciting. I'm just happy that they answered it honestly. Like, now as a fan, I know, like, hey, my expectation level is maybe we can win the AFC South with Cam Ward, but don't expect to go any further, because this roster is not ready. And to me, this actually makes me feel okay, because when I look at this roster, I feel the same way. I don't feel like we're right there to win a Super Bowl. And I do get it that we're plus 22,000 odds, but can we actually have a good season? Can we make progress? Can we make the step in the right direction? Can we get Amy where we want to be when this new stadium opens? Yes. Not only yes, but 100% yes. Great opportunity to endorse the rookie the number one pick, the least talked about number one pick, Cam Ward. And the Titans didn't do it. But that's okay. Because why do I care? Why am I okay with it? Because they were honest. Sometimes I need a little honesty in my life. So it's your turn. Leave a comment. What do you think? Were you offended by it? Did you think you should have said a little more or a little less? Would you even answer the question? Did they miss an opportunity? Is Amy Adams sitting there saying, wait? But deep down, I'm not gonna lie. It was entertaining, it was funny, and I thought it broke the ice leading into the new year, 2025. Don't forget to tighten up that like button, hit that subscribe button for the latest Titans content. Take care, tighten up.